Yeah, I love it. So, Will and Sarah. Okay. Not well, we got to keep it light.
That's right.
So, does anybody remember in my coaching sessions me talking about rule number 5? If you do, grab the chat and tell me what rule number 5 is. So, one of my mentors said, okay, Angie, you can't say what it is. Angie would know the answer to all of my. So, one of my mentors said, Will, never forget rule number 5. It's not Fran, it's not it's not a core reason for listing with a listing agent, but that's a good guess. Real estate is a contact sport. Well, these are good mentor suggestions. Maybe we should just open up every coaching session with, okay, you guys teach me a great principle. So, and then off we go. Kira, you're the closest. So here's rule number 5. If you guys want to write this down and remember it. So my mentor said, hey, Will, don't forget rule number 5. And so kind of what I did is I grabbed my notebook. And you guys know, I always have a notebook. So I opened up and I grabbed, and I'm like, okay, rule number 5. And I wrote number 5. And he says, never take yourself so seriously or too seriously. Never take yourself too seriously. And so I wrote down number 5, don't take yourself too seriously. And then I said, okay, what's 1 and 4? And he's like, Will, just number 5.
He said, thank you, Will, for illustrating the point. That's what he said.
Yep, exactly. So, it's good to laugh. I think laughter and the comedy and the humor and the wit, I think it calms people down. I think if you can laugh at it, you've found a way to deal with it on some level. So, if we're too serious, it can be too heavy at times. So, all right, there's the first tip of the day. It's buddy system and don't take yourself too seriously. So, okay, well, we're going to talk about mission critical today is using Zoom as a presentation tool. So here is the first poll that's going to be coming out. I'm going to launch it now. So you're going to see a poll question that says, so I'm asking, how many of you already have a Zoom account? So if it's yes, hit yes, and no. We're going to quickly, and you can see the numbers climbing there. Go ahead and answer that. Right now, I think, what do we have in participants, Joe? 81?
81 and counting.
Okay, this is perfect. So we're almost up 40 and 20, so 60. We need a few more answers. Well, that's actually pretty impressive that 68%.
Yeah, it's still going. Well, we're going over 80 right now. I think people are still trying to find the button.
Well, we might be almost 70% of those on the call have a Zoom account or pretty near that.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, I'm going to end the poll. Thanks for participating, you guys. And I'm just curious, Joe, can everyone see the poll results?
If you can see the poll results, nod your head. There you go. Nope. Yeah. So we can send those out after.
Okay, it's on my screen.
Yeah, as the hosts can see it in progress, but there you go.
Yeah. See, there's the poll.
We'll drag it over. Well, you can't see the poll. It's part of the Zoom application, so it's transparent.
Got it. Okay, I'll copy it and send it. So, end poll, stop share. Okay.
And then now hit share results, Will. Or I'll hit share results. There you go.
Okay, thank you.
Now everyone should be able to see it.
Got it. Jeff's nodding his head. Thanks, you guys, for interacting. I appreciate it. Matter of fact, I think that's good Zoom etiquette is to be involved. Head nodding, thumbs up. Way to go. This is good. Like participation protocol over Zoom is to be involved in it. Grab your chat, say things, comment with other people. Answer their interactions and things like that. So, okay. let's get rid of the poll. So we have Joe, we have 2/3, right, have an account. Or
yep.
About 70% have an account already.
That's correct.
So that means that we've got to show about 1/3 how to get an account really quick. Do you want to just quickly show them? Would that be helpful? No? Cameron's like, it's not helpful because I already have an account. But Sally's like, yes. So let's do it real quickly because, guys, we're recording this too, so someone can come back on and just get a reminder of how to get an account. Joe, it's all yours. Walk them through really quickly on how to get an account and which one to get.
Sure thing. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to go to zoom.us. So instead of your zoom.com or whatever, you're going to go type in the word zoom.us, and you're going to come to a web page that looks just like this. There are two ways to do that. A lot of people that feel that because they've clicked on a Zoom meeting before that they have a full Zoom account. That might not be the case. You can actually join a Zoom meeting without having a Zoom account. So the way that you want to make sure that you're indicating that you actually have a Zoom account, and I'll grab my little draw thing here, is that you want to head to this area right here where it says sign up, it's free. So up here in the upper right-hand corner, you click sign up, it's free, and you click that button. When you click that button, you're going to be able to then get to another screen here, and that is going to allow you, let me clear all my drawings real quick. That's going to allow you to then come over and get to the registration page. So you just click sign up, it's free. It's going to ask you, and by the way, this has changed in the last couple of weeks. There's been such an increase in users for Zoom that they've had to change the sign up process. You used to just have to put in your email address and hit go, but now you've got to verify your age. There's a couple other things they're going to ask you. And because they're a business, they're going to ask you, hey, invite all your friends. You don't need to invite all your friends. You just need to sign up for the account. You can skip the rest of the steps. But you come in here and you pick a day and a year. Just make sure that year is older than whatever. So you're older than 18. It's going to ask you for your work email address, or you could use one of these things. The reason we like the work email address one is that you can have a separation between your personal email addresses and your work email addresses. But you put that in there, you hit the sign up button. It's going to go through one of those capture things to make sure you're not a robot, and then you'll be done there. Once you have your account and you're ready to go, you need to make sure that you go up to this section of the website, which is called resources, and you need to download the Zoom client. So many people have gone to Zoom and popped the link from the links that we send out from the internet, whatever else, and they don't download the Zoom client. Downloading the client will change your life. It makes it way easier to join and manage different meetings. So again, that's the very tippy top on the horizontal menu on the right-hand side. You go to resources, you go to download Zoom client. It's a smart web page, so this top option right here, it's going to tell you whether or not, it's going to know if you're on a Mac or on a PC. You hit the download client, and then once you've run that download client, while that's going, go to your email inbox, because now you have to verify that the email you signed up Zoom with is actually your email. So you go in there, you verify the email, you can set up the password, the rest of the things there, and then you're going to be able to launch the Zoom client. And the Zoom client is going to look like, get this up here, this. So you, let me change the screen share here. The Zoom client is going to come down, and you're going to have an actual presence to be able to manage and change and do all kinds of other cool things like that. So let me just stop the share, and I'm going to pull up the client real fast, and you guys can get a look at what the client looks like when we do that. So again, sign up, make sure you've completed your sign up, and then we're going to go over here, show you my desktop. So this hovering over Will's Hampson face is the Zoom client. So unless you see this on your screen, so unless you can open, like if you're on a PC, you can go down to your Windows Start menu and type in Zoom, or go to Applications and type in Zoom, or if you're on a Mac, you just type in Zoom. Put the shortcut on your desktop, whatever it is, but this is the Zoom client, and this is what will help you be a much better host as opposed to just trying to do everything off the web browser. So that's how you sign up and download the client. So Will, back to you.
Okay, thanks, Joe. So from here, one of our key objectives today is to get 100% of you with your own account, be able to send an invite to a buddy. So figure out who that may be, and then start a Zoom meeting and start playing around with some of the presentation tools and features. Because it's a different experience than being a presenter and just, kind of on the sideline watching. So it's important to be able to share screens, circle, annotate, highlight, like what Jake was doing yesterday well, he did this more, I guess, Joe, in the Wasatch Front Sales meeting, because I reminded him to do it. But it's a great, look, I'm certain about something here. This is going to be how you're going to do the majority of your listing and buyer presentations in the future. It's just going to be too convenient. And our buyers and sellers, they are proficient at this now. Yep. Where before, a lot of them it's not what they did, right, Joe? I mean, but now we're hearing every industry, this is becoming a norm for them at their work, at their workplace. So I would hate to think that one of our agents got caught off guard by, a really great client who says, "Hey, could we do this over Zoom?" And our agent says, and then stumbles. Yeah. I'd like you to be able to lead out with them confidence and say, "Of course," and you feel comfortable with it. It's like any tool. If you practiced it, then you're going to get good at it. Then you'll use it. But if you're not practiced, you're just going to avoid it. So.
Nancy Ernie has a great question here, and that is, should we have the updated version of Zoom? Absolutely, you need to have the updated version of Zoom. If you're not quite sure what version you have, so I'm going to go over here to my screen here, and if you go, can you guys, when I do the drop-down menu here, can you see the drop-down menu? What I'm looking at there? So the way you check for updates is you go, this is called an application menu. So everyone has this. You've seen this all, anytime you open an application on your computer, usually in the upper left-hand corner of your screen, you're going to get what's called an application menu. So right now, I have selected the Zoom application with my cursor, which is why that says zoom.us. If I were to do the same thing with Chrome and select Chrome as my application menu, or select Adobe Acrobat as my application menu, see how my application menu bar changes? Right. So all you have to do.
Yeah. Hey, Joe. I mean, the difference is in what updated is in upgraded. So
yeah.
Yeah. Like the level of account they have. Right. Take that one.
Yes. And so I'll show you the update, and then we'll answer the other question too. So if you want to check for updates, you come here and you just say check for updates. And also make sure you should probably just turn that on automatically. Checking up for updates is very, very, very important. Here's the difference between the free version of Zoom and the pay-for version of Zoom. The cheap pay-for version of Zoom, I think, is $14.99 a month. Okay, it's very, very cheap. It's called Zoom Pro. With the free version of Zoom, you can only hold a meeting for 40 minutes. At the end of 40 minutes, your meeting will stop. So if you're not paying for Zoom and you're in the middle of a contract discussion with one of your clients or potential clients, after 40 minutes, the Zoom will end automatically. You can't do anything about it. The second thing is that you're limited on how many things you can do as part of the screen share. So can you use the free version of Zoom? You absolutely can. Just keep in mind that you have a very small window of 40 minutes to be able to conduct your business. The other thing is that you will cap out, I believe, at 25 participants on the free version of Zoom. So making sure that you know the difference, right? I mean, obviously, you're probably not going to be presenting to more than 2 or 3 people at a time. So that's not the main reason to go to Pro. The main reason to go to Pro is to be able to have, you can do custom meetings, you can do longer meetings, you don't have a time limit on it, you can do reoccurring meetings, meaning you can set up just one meeting URL every time that you use for whatever you want. So you can send that to your clients. And there's some additional—
Joe, that's what we're doing now is that the coaching link is the same number. It's the same meeting ID every week. Right. It's because, thanks for nodding, you guys. So what you'll do is you'll end up with a presentation link that you use all the time. And then you're just inviting people to the meeting at that time when you're launching it. So you're going to end up likely with just your presentation invite. And then you may have one that you use for family or one you use for presentations and things like that. Hey, Joe, will you run another poll?
Sure.
Let's do a poll on how many on this call, there's now 87, how many have used Zoom outside of business. So you know, not sales meeting, not anything to do with real estate, but say personally, have you used this in other arenas? So I'd love to know the answer to that.
So Will, because I'm not the host, I can't create the poll question, but you can go ahead and do that while I'm showing them the pricing and the plans if you want.
Oh, well, I went to do it and it wants me to relaunch the poll I already did.
You just end that other poll. But let's jump over here real quick. So
Okay, go ahead. I'll work on, oh, I got it. I got it. Okay.
So asking on what the Zoom plans and pricing are. So here's what we're talking about right here. So here's the free one. So you basically get up to 100 participants, your unlimited one-on-ones, but you have a 40-minute limit on your meetings. But then over here, you can do 100 participants, and now the meeting limit duration is 24 hours, which is kind of an important thing. These admin feature controls are where you turn on the features and the benefits of things like polls and annotations and things like that. So this right here, for $14.99 a month, obviously you weigh out the benefits and cost benefits to what you got going on. But this is one of those things that I think is you'd be highly, you'd be satisfied for having the pay for version if you want. So Nancy, thanks. It's a great question. Thanks for bringing that up.
The poll's given me a little bit of, so I've made the question, Joe, and it's not giving me the prompt to send it.
Well,
like
let's just, yeah,
okay.
let's just have everybody do the thumbs up, thumbs down in the reactions field. So if you look down below on your Zoom meeting, you have a little button that says reactions, and you can have a thumbs up or a clap. It shows up on your screen. So I got mine right here. Joel Pack's got his. So you see that there's a little reaction. So it's a thumbs up. So why don't we just do it that way, Will?
Okay, perfect. So you've used Zoom outside of work. Go ahead, thumbs up again.
Yeah, lots of people.
Okay, I'm just going to thumb through the pages. It looks like half.
At least.
At least half. Okay. I mean, could we be considered a pretty good snapshot of maybe the normal person? And that's, you know, I guess my point is that look at the evidence. Your buyers and sellers are using this already personally and at work. And so I think this is going to be how we do presentations. And look, it's different than the phone call or I sent you an email and things like that. I mean, there's more going on here. So let's see if there's any questions we need to answer, because I'm going to pivot to show you guys what we might do with buyers and sellers, the kind of questions that they're going to ask, and then how we could use dotloop in our library and Zoom together to be better at presenting. How does that sound? That sound good? Okay, good. All right, thanks. Time is flying. We're almost halfway through this. So I got a lot more to show you. Any questions on the chat, Joe?
No, just lots of comments about people using it outside of work, and some other. I mean, things like something like Kim Kirk's down in Moab said her doctor's appointment was on Zoom. I had my middle son treated exact way. It was a Zoom call with a doctor. That was last week. Very, very cool stuff like that. The other comment on this is just to understand, you guys, this is not going to be the only training. This is not going to be the only Zoom-centered content that we start putting together. You know, we're making a technology lasagna. We're just in the bottom layers, okay? The technology lasagna will build, and it will be something extraordinary. Just feel it out, but know how to get the Zoom client, know how to download it, and we'll talk about Buddy System here again.
Tonight, someone's going to say, hey, what do you want for dinner? And everyone's going to go, you know, for some reason, I want lasagna.
I want a technology lasagna.
No?
Yeah.
Did we just lose? Joe, you're froze. Oh,
no, I'm just very passionate. That's all. I just hold the pose.
Oh, okay. Everyone's going to imitate being Wi-Fi frozen now. Ready, go. Okay, that's hard to hold. Impressive. Okay, so I'll tell you what. Why don't you guys tell me a common
Oh, Will, this is actually a great
Yeah.
question. Sorry to interrupt. So Kira
Yeah.
Sardo just dropped. So Kira, you're exactly right. The free version is not secure. You have it with anything that with any technology or anything that gets hot fast, you see that traditional news media has to jump on it because they're desperate for viewers. And the Zoom growth and Microsoft Teams growth and some of these other web platform growth has been extraordinary over the last 4 weeks. So there's a ton of news stories about super scary things that happen and people barging in on, you know, elementary school meetings and showing inappropriate content and all that kind of stuff like that. Those are all such random corner cases. They're total scare tactics. But let me tell you exactly, the free version of Zoom is totally secure. You just have to understand what features you want to have enabled in order to make the meeting secure. For one of the biggest ones is that you turn off the ability for anyone in the meeting to start sharing on their own, right? Because that's how those meetings get taken over, and that's an option. So it's a great question. The free version is completely secure. You just need to understand what options you need to have turned on or turned off. So don't let the news cycles kind of scare you about this kind of stuff. It's completely secure, and there's no perfect software. No, it doesn't exist. There's no anyone that's ever owned a computer and had to restart because something just didn't work and then it magically worked again knows there's no perfect software. However, what Zoom has been doing and how they're keeping things progressing and all the little shaving off the rough edges, I'm totally comfortable with it. And we'll do another class. And actually, there's some other, there's a video up on the intranet right now called Zoom Basics, and it shows you some of the options that I would suggest to check or uncheck to make it even more secure. So go ahead and check that out after this training. Great question.
Yeah, you know what? We fielded that like, it seems like about a month ago. Actually, it feels like more like 2 years ago, but it really was a couple of weeks ago when we fielded that question. But I think you got it. Yeah, good advice. Thanks, Joe. I appreciate that. So yeah, Tammy, the other, well, on the secure stuff.
I'll answer those on the chat, Will.
Awesome. Okay, on the chat. Okay. All right, guys, here, your turn to tell me, and I'll just pick one if it's okay. Why don't we first take writing an offer for a buyer? So we're in the phase of, let me set the stage better. So they're asking some hypothetical questions about buying a house. And they're not yet your client. We're kind of in that mode where you've gotten to know them through various contacts, and yet we don't have a buyer broker agreement yet. You're hoping that they'll choose you to be their agent, and they're starting to ask some hypothetical questions about the buying process. So, and we are on Zoom, and we're doing this buyer consultation through Zoom, not just a phone call. So you guys tell me, what would someone ask as these hypothetical questions? And when you give me a question, then what I'm hoping to do here is to use our tools and resources and Zoom overlaid with that to answer some of these questions. To give you an example of what, we did one yesterday, and thanks Cameron and Kimberly. We had where the buyer said, how can I be certain that my earnest money is credited towards the purchase price? Everybody remember that one? That's a big question. And yet I think we could stumble around on how to answer it, but we know where the answer is now. We know it's in section 8.4. It's kind of hidden in the Rep C. So let me take one of these. Can I see what the Utah Rep C looks like? Cameron, that's such an easy, yeah, let's do that one. Let's grab that one. So I would share my screen here. Whoops, not my emails. So I'm in .loop right now. And I think one of the dominoes here, guys, is to get like a sample loop created. And Courtney, will you unmute Courtney for a sec, Joe? Let me know when she's unmuted.
I think I'm unmuted now.
Okay, there you go, Court. So, Courtney, explain to everybody why you want to choose a listing loop for the library of forms.
So if you're going to just do a sample loop, I would choose the listing loop because it gives you all of the forms in it. Like it starts with all the listing paperwork, as you can see right there on Will's screen. And then it also will give you the under contract paperwork. So you'll see everything. If you choose a under contract loop, you're not going to see the listing paperwork and you won't be able to test that out and see the forms in there. You'd have to add them to the loop, which you can do.
Perfect. Thank you. So
Yeah.
I'm going to scroll down. Cameron's question is, what does the contract look like? So here it is in the under contract documents. There's the form. I'm going to select that. Once I have the document put up, look how great this is as a presentation tool to answer their question. Things like, well, what is included? So in my annotate pull down, guys, as you're a presenter, when you take your mouse and you hover it up on top of the screen, the toolbar jumps down as a presenter, and I'm able to select different ways to highlight what I'm speaking about. Well, right now I'm going to use some kind of fun like stamps. Like, let's say they say, well, are we sure those solar panels are included? And I would come down and say, that's a great question. And I'd put a little heart right by solar panels. And that's a presentation feature. Then I can clear it and I can come back. I could use a different tool where I say, well, yes, all the included items are found in section 1. Or I might choose, and again, I can clear that. I can come back. I could even draw around and say, you know, we've got, see all the personal property. We're going to make a note of that there. So I can really drive this. It takes a little bit of practice. When you clear your drawings and you clear the toolbar, you can scroll. One thing that I found is that you know, you're not able to annotate and move the screen. You know, so because your annotations are laying over the top of it. So let's say a buyer says, well, what kind of things are the seller, you know, going to talk to us about? You guys can see my cursor, right? You see my cursor. So you could just do that, or you can grab that toolbar and highlight it. I do like kind of this spotlight. It's a little easier to see, right? But these are presentation functions that'll take time for you to get used to. But you can use, and by the way, on this one, I can scroll. With the others, I can't. Again, it takes some practice. So I could take any buyer's question. I could use the Rep C, and I could point all this out. Here's our financing. Here's our, you know, here's where our credited at closing, our earnest money. They could ask so many different questions, and I could answer that using the Rep C. Isn't that a neat way to do it? Because you're talking over it instead of pulling up an email, having a conversation. Do you see it? You know, they're all looking, you know, at the same thing. So
Will,
Mary,
just a lot. Will,
yeah.
sorry to jump in there. A lot of questions coming in on where the annotations toolbar is. Part of the thing with Zoom is that it assumes you don't want the person on the other end to see your Zoom controls. So when you're doing a training about Zoom, and you're not seeing Will's annotation toolbar, the other reason is you're not a host. So right now you're a participant, so you don't have that annotation toolbar. When you create your own meetings, one of the things that you'll see when you share your screen is the annotation toolbar. So when you're in the view mode, like right now, Will sees a bar across, it says stop sharing. It has all these other options because he's the host and he's sharing his screen. So because you're a participant, you're not sharing your screen, it's impossible to see that. So part of the practice today is create your own meeting as the host, share your screen, and then those bars will become very apparent to you at the top.
Hey, Court.
Yeah.
Where do I find the COVID addendum?
So the COVID addendum, you're going to need to add it to your folder. So if you just click on add document in that loop right there. Yep. Click on that. Click on templates. And then click on BHHS documents and type in the search bar at the top, COVID. There you go. Click on that and click copy. And okay.
Thank you so much. Okay, so I probably better add a few of the forms that might be addressed. I'm likely right now to get a question about how we're going to deal with COVID. Of course, I get the autofill that comes up, but in a presentation mode, I can just exit out of that and use the blank. And now I'm teaching from this form, and how nice that is. This is how we're going to handle objections. This is how we're going to bring confidence and a calm to the situation and show our proficiency. It's one of my favorite reminders to everybody. I know we want to say how great we are. You know, I know we're like, I'm so good at this, but it's better to show them. And of course, there's a great Rush song called Show Me, Don't Tell Me. I imagine nobody on this call has ever heard it, but it's Show Me, Don't Tell Me. If we're in the coaching class, I normally grab my phone and play it. But look how nice this is to teach from this. Today I was talking with an agent, matter of fact, right when we jumped on, that it seemed like we needed section 3 to bring some calm to the buyer, that they weren't gonna move through the process of writing an offer right now unless we had the language that was in 3. And again, so hey, I didn't draw that circle.
Yeah, because other people are learning what the view options are. So that's part of it, is that when you're seeing Will's screen at the top and it says view options. Now, hey, everybody, let's not take over and go graffiti artist on Will's rep sheet. But when you click on view options, you can click annotate, and you can actually annotate back. So one of the things that you need to understand is that actually, yeah.
My daughters have taken over.
But Will, as the host, though, can clear all those drawings whenever he wants.
Okay, now look. I guess the statute of limitations has run out. But I do remember having a written contract on my office at home and it looking similar to that. Of course, I said, who did this? And all the girls are, we don't know.
Not me.
We don't know who did that, Dad. And then one of them said, but don't you think Kayla draws pretty? All right, nice job. So, Joe, is that you or is that everybody?
Oh, that's me.
Okay. I'm like, wow. Talk about some Zoom interaction.
Yeah, no, oh, no. What you're seeing on your screen, Will, that's everybody.
Are you kidding me?
No, you got 91 people now showing you that they have found the view options button on the screen. This is, you guys, if there's one thing that I'm most proud of this training, it's this right here.
Oh my gosh. Now we're playing tic-tac-toe?
That's right.
Kevin Murray.
Yeah.
Rush. Okay, fine. You convinced me.
Okay, now, Will, just go ahead and hit clear them all.
Okay, I got it. Clear all of my kids' drawings. Okay, boom. Woohoo!
Oh.
It's pretty again. Everyone's like, no, I want to keep drawing. So,
all right, now you guys, this is where you have to be a parent and go, we're going to turn it off. If you can't relax, we're going to turn it off. I will turn this car around right now.
Yeah. You know what, though? Yeah, all right. Love you too. Okay. I think you can kind of get the sense that if you don't have the presenter stuff and practice, that it's just impossible to get some confidence in how to do it. So, you know, we're going to, so I think today what I really wanted to be able to do was to show you .loop married with Zoom. And then the objective was to have you all get an account, which 2/3 of you have. And the next one was to buddy up. So, I mean, I'm floating an idea, you guys. What if next week, Joe, tell me, I think we can do this, but what if next week we just took turns in saying, okay, you know, like Nancy, be a presenter for a minute, and we turn something to her, and she could show us like an annotation or pulling up something. And then we could go, all right, Jonathan, it's your turn. Cameron, Ramon, Sal. I mean, we could go through and just have everyone practice after we've given them a week to do that. Does that sound like that might be a good goal for us, guys? Would it bring some accountability maybe to it? Yes.
Use your reactions. Everybody
Exactly.
use your reactions. Go down to the bottom and pick your reaction. Give us a thumbs up. There we go.
Nice job. Okay, very, very. Oh, we're Zoom pros now.
There we go. Good job,
Okay.
people.
So I know that's going to be, but you know, if we took the bulk of the meeting next week to just practice, then I think that that's better than me saying, let's talk about, you know, handling objections or communications or things like that right now, which we've been doing in past coaching. I think that's mission critical, and it seems like we need that more than anything else. You guys agree? You agree? Okay. So that'll be it. So let it be written. So let it be done. Next Tuesday or next Wednesday coaching will be to practice presentations from the participants. We'll practice.
That doesn't mean that between now and next Wednesday, you're not going to be buddying up, right? That doesn't mean you're not going to find somebody that you can practice this with and
right.
Get your app downloaded and start doing all that. And then I'm going to commit as well to make another Zoom video. So I'll do a screen capture so you can actually see the Zoom meeting bars that we've been talking about as a host. So we'll get all that stuff out to you as well in the next day or two.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that if you buddy up and practice, then you'll be willing to do this in front of the group. Hey, Jennifer, are you still on? Jennifer, yeah, you are. You're nodding your head. Okay. So remember yesterday when Jennifer's like, stage fright's a real thing, even with Zoom in my own house, right? It is. It can be a little nerve-wracking when you're not confident with it. So, you know, today and this week and next week, it'll be about getting confident using this tool. So I'm challenging everybody to take this to heart and really get disciplined and committed to using Zoom as your presentation device and get proficient at it. We're all in? Okay. Joe, what else do we need to emphasis? I mean, I've got one more little tip, and then we're almost finished with this session, I think.
Yeah, I would say everybody, and you've heard me cover this in other like sales meeting and other things like that. There is a price to pay to getting comfortable with a Zoom meeting, and that is getting over how you look on your camera. Nobody here has a perfect studio. We don't have the perfect lighting. We all have that same issue that whenever we look at ourselves, all we see are the things we wish we didn't see. The bottom line is get over it. This is what people want. They want an authentic experience with you. And so give them that authentic experience. Don't prohibit this part of your business because you just don't like the way you look on camera, right? I mean, you hear sometimes where Jamie Roney will say, if the headshot you're currently using is older than your kids, you need to get a new headshot, right? It's the same concept. You got to update with what's going on and make somebody know who you actually are and who you really are. Because guess what? You're awesome. You're awesome right now. You know, you're beautiful right now. You're handsome right now. So get over all this other stuff that's keeping you from doing it. The other thing is, it's odd to look into a little green light, a little red light on your camera and talk, because you're surrounded by this computer screen that's got a million things flashing and trying to vie for your eyeballs' attention. If you're looking at me right now, I'm looking at a flat piece of technology that doesn't have really any kind of reaction. But the idea that you can get comfortable by talking to, you know, we have 88 people that are still in the training right now. And the fact that you actually can get eye contact with somebody, this is what it means to get comfortable with the presentation style. So as you're doing these Zoom meetings, your first couple of practices with your friends, this is what you're going to be doing. You're going to look like this because where's the bar? What's that? Where's the button? And you're going to get a whole lot of this. And then you're going to get a whole lot of people that look like this because they're going to have their thing be underneath and they're going to look for what's going on, trying to find whatever. And great, that's what the practice is for. You get used to all that kind of stuff. But the bottom line is just get comfortable understanding that you as a professional, right? The way you look, the way you behave, the confidence that you carry yourself, just like I could walk into any meeting with any single one of you and know that the person that I'm with is going to be just a real badass real estate agent, a real badass real estate professional. You have to convey that same confidence coming over the camera, right? Because that is who you are. So get used to it. Don't worry about it. mess up all you want with your friends and family. That's the reason that you mess up with your friends and family. But when you start actually having these meetings for real and you mess up, you're going to at least know how to recover. So good job, everybody. We're going to keep sending you information.
Nice. Thanks, Joe.
Can you say ass on these trainings, Will?
Can you say what?
Badass. Is that okay?
Oh, is it still within, I mean, it's not what I not my style,
yeah,
but
you're
I'm
wearing
okay
a collared shirt though. I'm wearing Bigfoot,
Yeah.
so I gotta say.
Oh yeah, it's good. It's good. All right, one maybe one closing thought. Okay, so last night, and I actually have a question too with this. But last night, you guys know my father lives in Soldotna, Alaska. He is the medical director. He still is the medical director for the peninsula, which is just south of Anchorage. He used to be the medical director for the entire state of Alaska. So this recent COVID virus pandemic has certainly affected what he does every day. First thing is my father, who's 72 years old, says to me, son, I've been on Zoom meetings all day. I've been on Zoom meetings all day. Okay. So first thing. And then we spent talking about, I have a hard time believing everything I hear from the media. I don't know about you guys, but I have a hard time consuming shocking data as the priority. Because my intelligence tells me that there's good news out there, but I know that doesn't get views. So I go to my tribe, and my dad is in my tribe, and I trust my dad. And I ask him all the questions that I need to hear from him. So we had a nice conversation. There is good news out there. And there are ways to go back to work safely. And it's around the corner. But I wouldn't minimize what the COVID virus is. I'd be careful about, the nature of it is serious. But there are ways to do both. In other words, work and deal with COVID. So here's a question before I get into my thoughts my dad had for me, and I wanted to pass on. But I guess I'm floating an idea of inviting my dad to maybe a sales meeting because I trust he's in my tribe, and he's a medical physician on the front lines fighting COVID. Would that be a good thing, or it'd be like, oh, I've heard enough about COVID from all the doctors, I don't need any more? Or would you like to have somebody you can ask a question to, as no agenda, no monetized, scenario or anything like that? If you like the idea, let me know. We floated around. We talked for a good 2 hours last night. By the way, Alaska is still light at 10 p.m. right now. Okay, thanks for the replies, you guys. Keep them coming if you think that's a good idea. I don't want to, beat an issue to death. I feel like we're all getting like a college course on viruses. But I think that it's kind of nice to hear from someone who just doesn't have any agenda. It's just, they'll just tell you.
Yeah, well, okay. This is overwhelming. That's an overwhelming positive for inviting your dad.
Okay. Thanks, Joe. I'll appreciate that, you guys. Okay, let me tell you what my dad said to me, which I really do appreciate. Some of you know that a long time ago, he nicknamed me Tasmanian Devil. He called me Taz because I had a lot of energy. And I remember in elementary school and in middle school, I came home one day and I said, Dad, do I have ADD? And he said, son, who told you that? And I get it, he's a medical doctor, right? And I said, well, I don't know. Someone says I might have ADD. And he says, did a teacher say that? And I said, well, yeah, Mrs. So-and-so, and I don't remember who it was. And he said, son, never apologize for having more energy than anybody else in the room. And I hung on to that. And I guess it just became me. And I tried to use that as a positive. Now, I had the hardest time sitting through college classes. It was torture. I could hardly do it. I could hardly sit at church and other places. It's really hard. But I did find a way. And then later on, I got a nickname of Red Bull. Thanks, Kevin Larson. I got a nickname of Red Bull. And every time I'd go present, I'd get pretty excited. And it is, Joe's laughing. Yeah, I get excited about it.
Well, you talk about like that's what you used to do. That's why I'm laughing.
I used to, it's like what my kids would say, well, remember Dad when I was really little? You're like, you're little still. I'm excited though, still today about where we are, the company we're with. The Ronies are fantastic, you guys. They're the best owners. I trust our captain who's at the wheel, making the really big decisions, keeping his eyes on the horizon. He's an amazing business leader. I often refer to him as a master Jedi. I learn from him all the time. He has a great business acumen. And our leadership team is fantastic, and they're committed. And I'm excited and inspired about what we can all do right now with our clients. They need a high level of professionalism now more than ever, and they need us. And a home has never been more important, ever. It's being tested right now. I don't know if we could say the same thing about commercial property, but we could certainly say that about residential property, that it's so central to where people are raising families and having happiness. I mean, they're working from it. It's becoming the place where they're doing church. They're exercising there. They're trying to relax and entertain themselves. I mean, the home is been jettisoned to the front of the line as a necessity of life. Even to fight a virus, it's becoming the foxhole. And I know there's tender moments for families all across the world that are happening inside the walls of that home. And you and I can be the warriors to help bring the fight and the challenge to the things we have, and we can win these challenges, and we can prevail. And we're so needed right now, and it's complicated. So yesterday I had a very, very dear friend of mine who I've known for 30 years. And we wrote an offer on a house that is it's 1.1 million. And they had all the concerns that everybody would have: COVID, uncertainty, loans, rates, ability to close, my job, the sales price, the values, all of those things. And I'm telling you, when you marry together your experience, you marry your mastering of the forms and the legal issues, it brings such a confidence to people that you've got their back. And I know you can do this. And I'm excited as ever. I feel like I've had 10 Red Bulls this morning about what we were going to share today, Joe, because I know that if you'll practice what we talked about today and stay excited, stay positive, because there's good news out there. We are going to prevail. We will win. I know it. I know we'll win. And look, there's something my spiritual perspective. I believe our Maker has valuable lessons for us to learn that cannot be learned another way. We can't learn it unless we go through it. And what are some of those lessons? Gratitude? How about the love of life? Relationships? Being with someone? Being able to be with them personally? These are huge. Maybe we got a little off track as a society as a whole. Maybe we could be more compassionate. But we're going to come out of this better. We're going to win. And we're going to evolve. And we already are. Yesterday in sales meeting, I did say, we learned short sales in '08. But after the call, I go, let's remember, this isn't '08. It's different, but it could feel the same. You know, challenges have a way of feeling heavy when they're difficult. You know, hills are hills. But the things weighing on this that cause it to be challenging are different in their fundamental nature. So I know unemployment can freak people out. I know the uncertainty is real. My dad is going to tell everybody, I think, in sales meeting, to don't forget to exercise. It's the best medicine. And my dad's not a real spiritual person, but he would say meditate, and I would probably say prayer, but it's the same thing. It's clearing our mind and think of the things that are well and good. Take inventory of everything that is right in my life. All the things I'm glad that I have. Because sometimes our environment wants to say, well, yeah, but you don't have this and you don't have that, and it can get difficult to deal with. We are really fortunate to have what we have, and I know you guys know that too. Anyway, I hope you can sense my love for you through this. Yes, I'm speaking to the green camera, Joe, but it does help me to see your faces because I love you all. I have great confidence in every single one of you to do what's right for your clients, to be honest, to be professional, to be disciplined, to be trustworthy. I know you'll do that, and it's needed now more than ever. So I wish you all the best. We've got our goals set. Joe, let's remind everybody what our objectives are for next Wednesday when we meet again. You'll need to have the following. So an account.
Make sure you have an account. Make sure you've downloaded the client. Make sure you've practiced some buddy system time. By the way, I can be your buddy if you need some help, or just email me. We're trying as hard as we can to cover large groups of people, but sometimes you just need a little extra one-on-one time. I'll be happy to slip you in as whenever I can. But the other thing is, like, remember the lasagna. We're on layer 1 and 2. Okay, it's not going to be overwhelming if you think about how it's the small efforts that you make every day to persevere that are going to make the largest difference. And so it's not a singular 6-hour training session that's going to change your life and make you become a Zoom expert. It's going to be trying it a little bit every day until you figure out how to get comfortable with it. And so whatever you need to do to make that happen, we're here for you. Let us know, and we'll get you there. You guys, you can do this, and it's going to be awesome.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and sign off, everyone. Thanks for your participation today, and I'll see you next meeting. Have a great, safe day. Okay, love you all.
And if anybody wants to hang out, I'm going to play the song Will wanted to hear.
Oh, perfect. Go to the chorus.
How many times do you hear it? It goes on all day long. Everyone knows everything, and no one's ever wrong. Until later, who can you believe? It's hard to play it safe.
How far ahead, Will?
But apart from show me, don't tell me you figured out the score. Show me, don't tell me I've heard it all before. Show me, don't tell me I don't care what you say. Show me, don't tell me you can twist perception.
It's a Rush song, Will. Like, you're like, go to the chorus. I'm like, what is that, 7 minutes in? Is that 30 seconds in? Is that 2 hours in? I mean, frick. You're like upside down, and Geddy Lee's probably got some sort of hidden poetry somewhere. It's like, just go to the chorus, Joe. Yeah.
That's
this
right.
This is not a Backstreet Boys song, Will. I know the Backstreet Boys chorus is hitting in 1 minute, 15 seconds.
That's
this is a
right.
Rush song. It's like, who knows?
Exactly. All right. So, Tyler, I'm going to surf to that song behind your boat soon. I want to hear that through that sound system. Show me, don't tell me. What a great